What up, y'all? Welcome back to Practice, the podcast where we fuse research and culture to help you develop the mindset, habits, and skills that you need in order to live out your purpose with confidence. I'm your host, Coach Rees. Now it's time to get better, y'all. Let's grow. Woo, y'all. I am super excited as always to be back with y'all. This is episode 28. That means we are over halfway through to like a full year of episodes, and that makes me super duper pumped. So, shout out to you if you're either like coming back to the podcast, you're just coming to it for the first time. But I have to do this because they say this is how you make your stuff grow. Please like, comment, share, leave a review, all that types of stuff. Whether you're listening to it on like Apple Podcasts or you're watching it on Spot or listening to it on Spotify or Anchor or YouTube, wherever it is, if you feel like this podcast is adding value to your life, share it with somebody. Like share it with one person that you're like, you know what? I think this will benefit and bless this person's life. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share it with them. That's all I ask of you. So let's move forward. We are continuing the conversation on the confident energy giving system. Now, we're continuing this conversation because we're breaking down the full confident energy giving system of what does it look like to invest in ourselves holistically. Now, if you remember, holistically means parts of a whole. We are whole beings, but there are multiple parts of us, okay? So we talked about a couple weeks ago, or we started with mentally, then we went into spiritually, which really spiritually is at the top, but it was mental health awareness month, so we started that way. But anyways, the core four are spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So today we are rounding out the core four as we talk about physically, physical wellness, y'all. Okay. The confident energy giving system is a holistic approach to investing in your holistic wellness, top to bottom, investing in your confidence in all these areas. So that way, what? You can live out your purpose with confidence because that is the mission. Okay. So physical wellness. What does that mean? What is it? That's what we're going to dive into today. But as you know, I like to start off with a quote. Our quote for today is you versus you with you. So a lot of people talk about, right, the quote of like, it's you versus you. Once you get in the gym, once you're trying to grow, you want to look in the mirror and it's just you versus you. Like, I get that, but I'm like, it's me versus me, but I also want to be with me. Right. And again, I'm a competitor, I'm an athlete, I'm a coach. Like I get the you versus you mentality, but there's a part of me that has to remember I'm on my team. So if I can go you versus you, I need that mentality with me. I'm like, oh, I could do that. Because think about it this way. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. And I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. That's me current today versus me yesterday. And then tomorrow, it'll be me tomorrow versus who I was today and so on and so forth. So that's the you versus you. But at the same exact time, I need to be able to bring me with me along the journey as I grow in self-awareness because I need to know that I got my back. I need to know that I'm rocking out with me. I need to know that I enjoy me and like me and love me in this process, or it ain't going to matter. Okay. So the quote is you versus you with you, period. So now that we got the quote down, when I was thinking about a song that I want to use for today's episode, I was like, you know what? I went a couple different directions. And then something pulled me all the way back to my girl, Beyonce. And we're talking about pretty hurts. I wish I could sing. In every single episode that I sing, I'm going to always say, I wish I could sing. So thank y'all for bearing with me and my horrible singing. But pretty hurts. Pretty hurts is a complete vibe in a psychological way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a summer anthem. You're like, pretty hurts, turn up, turn up. I don't think anybody's doing any of that. But for me, I love breaking down the lyrics of Pretty Hurts because of how real it is. And I think it's interesting, especially when you think about Beyonce having a song called Flawless, but also Pretty Hurts. And if I'm not mistaken, they might be on the same album. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, so the thing about that is Pretty Hurts, here are a couple lyrics that stood out to me from Pretty Hurts is Mama said, what's in your head doesn't matter. Like she's being fed this message from her mom that what's in your head, it doesn't matter. Right. And so a lot of people catch this method or catch this message from their elders, from people who are mentors and role models and raise them up of like, what's in your head doesn't matter. All I need you to focus on is this. Even I think about that with athletes too, where what's in your head doesn't matter. Only matters is your ability to execute on the field. All that matters is your ability to execute in the sport, right? And the thing is, like, we then take our identity and we put it into something other than who we are on the inside and our soul and our mind and the value that we can add in other areas. So this is why I think Beyonce was really hitting us with like the pretty hurts, because we're being told that all you need to do is focus on this aspect of you, which really pulls away from all the other aspects of you that are amazing, right? So the next thing that's being said is brush your hair, fix your teeth, which we all need to brush our hair, but like fix your teeth, and what you wear is all that matters. So again, she's being told this story to fix her mindset around your appearance being the it thing. And when your appearance is the it thing, that's all that matters. So if somebody's being fed this story, what do you think they're going to do? Where do you think they're going to place their value? They're going to place their value on these things. But here we're going. You got to stay with me and Beyonce. She says, we shine the light on whatever's worse, trying to fix what we can't see. When all the thing is this, it's the soul that needs a surgery. It's my soul that needs the surgery, y'all. Now, if you remember, we just talked about 2 weeks ago, we talked about our soul and our spirit and the fact that we are soul and spiritual beings. And the reason why that's so amazing, it connects to this. And when I was reading the lyrics, I was like, yo, here's my connection, right? Is we are soul and spiritual beings with inside a physical body, which today I'm going to refer to right as our temple. And if you understand that piece and you're only focusing on the outside, the exterior, and you're not focusing on the interior, like I said before, if your soul's not well, you aren't well, period. If your soul is not well, you are not well. So what does that mean? That means, yes, there's an aspect of having to focus on your temple and your physical being, but it doesn't matter if your soul isn't in a place of safety and peace and able to experience prosperity and abundance and all those amazing things if your body's feeling it but your soul ain't feeling it. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that Beyonce said that, and I was like, this absolutely is going to be our song that anchors us as we get through today's episode. So that's the quote, y'all. You versus you with you, our song Pretty Hurts by Beyonce. So now, Coach Rees, what's the research behind all this? The research behind all this is, it's more than we can even dive into in this episode. I'm going to tell you that for sure. So as I've been doing a lot of research around our physical being, our temple, our life, our longevity, our brain, all these different things, there is a lot of research out there. And a lot of the research right now, a lot of folks are talking about longevity. Not necessarily, well, one half of it is how do I live longer? And the other half of it is just like, how do I prevent aging? There's a lot of research that's talking about like our our biological age and our actual, like how we feel on the inside. Like there's a lot of cats out there that are really trying to, that are in their 50s and 60s, and they're doing things to like test what the traditional and old research has said. And it's showing like sleeping, eating, all the things physically that we're going to talk about today are helping them pretty much dodge anti-aging is the best way to say it, right? A lot of brain work. So there are ways and there are things that are helping folks be able to extend their longevity, extend their life, live healthier lives, all that stuff. And the research is expansive. Again, way more than we could talk about in this. But one thing or two things that I want to dive into is, one aspect is the benefits of continual movement for longevity. Just move. Like it just move. Just move. However you can move, move. If you have the ability to move, move. I don't care what that looks like. Move. Walk, swim, jump, hike, whatever your movement looks like, move. Because a lot of research is showing the more you're able to move, this is going to increase your longevity, because there's also a thought process of if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So the older folks they experience something, muscle atrophy, right? Like if you don't use your muscles in a specific way, you're going to lose the benefits of them. We need healthy muscles and bones for us to be able to have a healthier lifestyle, right? So if you're not doing certain things in a certain way with your body, you'll lose your ability to use out on those things. The other thing is, I want you to grasp onto this concept. And the concept is, I don't want you to focus on stepping out of your comfort zone. I want you to focus on expanding your comfort zone. Okay. Whether it comes to spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and as we'll talk about in the future, relationally, financially, is I want you to expand your comfort zone because doing any of this stuff is extremely hard. Like, that's just the bottom line. Doing any of this is extremely hard. But the point of it is, if you can just find the ways that you want to grow or live a healthy, holistic, physically fit, physically well life, figure out what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, right? Like, expanding your comfort zone means I'm not going to allow myself to set extreme measures. Extreme, I'm going to do this, and then we fall off because there's too many ebbs and flows, and I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced it, and it's not beneficial. But there's also research that shows, like, if you just try to expand your ability versus stepping out of your comfort zone, you're more apt to be consistent. You're more apt to stay with it and continue on and make it a part of your lifestyle versus something you did for a season. So I believe when you expand your comfort zone, what you're allowing yourself to do is say, this is a part of my lifestyle. I have a physically fit and a physical wellness lifestyle versus I'm doing it in this season for this particular time in my life or this particular destination or season or summer or whatever the case may be is. Okay. So that was a lot of information right there at the jump. So we gonna get after it. And the case study story really that I want to talk about today is my own. Like, I want to be as authentic and vulnerable and transparent with y'all throughout the forever. And there's no better way for me to really dive in and talk about physical wellness than to talk about my own personal story. And so anybody who knows me knows I'm an athlete. They call me Coach Rees because I literally was a coach. I was a hoop coach, but before I was a hoop coach, I was a hooper. So I've been a hooper my entire life, and I ended up playing pro. And after I got done playing pro, what happened was I came back and I ended up, what did I do? I ended up breaking my ankle. And when I broke my ankle, this was one of the first times that I was like, oh, shoot, like, I'm not in college anymore. I don't have the same assistance like I had when I was playing pro, and as far as like somebody being there for PT and all that. And I remember getting really conscious and self-conscious about, oh my gosh, the weight that I can gain by not being able to hoop anymore. And that was the first time it really started to click as I had transitioned out of being a professional athlete or an athlete full time in general for the first time in my life at like 24, right? So the next piece is a year and some after that, when I'm 26, my mom passes away. And the reason why this is so pivotal and connected to my physical wellness is because, one, physical wellness for my mom and I was a huge thing. My mom was an avid runner, avid worker outer. She was doing like 2 a days, 3 a days, like everything that every day, every time we traveled, she would take two things with her Bible and her running shoes. And like, so physical wellness to her was like top of line. But another thing that we really valued was eating. We enjoyed working out and eating. That was it. Traveling, working out, eating, all of that. So what I noticed was after she had passed and I tried to find ways to cope, one of the ways of being connected was through food, right? Like, I would want to eat certain things because it would remind me of her. I would be sad and I would eat something, or I would feel some type of way. I'd be angry, right? All those different things. And so food went from being something that I had major control over as a professional and a collegiate athlete. There were times in my life where I didn't eat fast food for years. I didn't eat chips and cat cookies and did all those things for years because I was so dialed in on being top of my game as an athlete that there's certain things I didn't touch. Even as a coach, I had players who never seen me eat snacks or eat out on the road and all that stuff because I was so dialed in. So I would have like an 80-20, 90-10, 100% lifestyle. I would keep myself from eating certain things. My discipline was super high. But during that time frame, after my mom had passed, I had to focus on my mental, on my spiritual, my mental, and my emotional. So much that my physical failed. And it has been failing for over 5 years now. And so I'm sharing this piece, and I think it's the core four, or part of the core four, because it makes up us as our whole, where relationally, financially is kind of how like aspects that we do, but the physical makes up me. It's my physical being. So I never lost sight of my care for fitness and food and understanding, but I was fighting for my life from a mental, emotional, spiritual stance. Like I had to be here. So as much as I knew my physical outer mattered, I needed to hone in and anchor my mental, emotional, and spiritual. Now, this also goes back to where Beyonce was talking about, right? Your soul that needs a surgery. My soul definitely needed all types of different things throughout this journey. But the other part too is I think there comes a time when you are psychologically, physically safe enough at a different point of grieving where you say, okay, I have enough strength and capacity to hone in on all these areas. I don't think that somebody can like be super duper proficient in every single area all the time because our capacity is just not there. I think we need to be conscious, and this is where I think you need to make it a lifestyle. All right, because if it's a part of your lifestyle, that's different than you just doing something for a particular season, right? So I may not meditate every day for 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes I got 1 minute of meditation in me. I may not do a full out journal, right? I may just have a couple sentences. That's all I got, right? So again, this is where it goes to expanding your comfort zone by allowing yourself to know that I can do these difficult things. I can show up for myself in these specific ways that allows me to expand, right? This also goes into my 1 day at a time. You versus you with you, because life is going to life. And all this stuff matters, y'all. So fast forward over the last year and some, I've been able to acknowledge privately and then publicly within the last couple months that I have a food addiction. And I was like, yo, I'm addicted to food. And I was able to get to that space because I realized I wasn't just going to food for comfort. I was going to food for, I wasn't just eating food for fun and fuel. I was eating it for comfort. And that's where I was like, I had a food addiction. I get it. I can admit it. I took something that I enjoyed and was fun and had full control over, and it became something that I couldn't control. And even though I would work out a bunch, I still have been working out on average 4 days a week for my entire life. But what sucks is it don't matter. You can't outwork your diet. You just can't do it. You can't outwork your diet. And it doesn't matter how much you work out if you're eating whatever you want 80% of the time, 90% of the time. It's just you're going to not be able to reap the benefits of it. And so for so long, because of all these different things I've gone through over the last 6 or 7 years, I'm now in a place where I'm like, okay, I have 100% knowledge of what I've been going through. I have 100% idea and awareness of where it is that I'm trying to go. And I know what I need to do, right? And I have the mental, emotional, and spiritual capacity to be able to obtain said goal, said mission, right? So I bring all of that up because one, I know I'm not the only person. I share this on my TikTok, and there's other people who are like, yeah, I deal with the same thing. But I want to talk about the food addiction in connection to physical wellness because food is a part of physical wellness, right? How we do what we do, anything that we put into our temple, the way we move our temple, all that stuff matters. And I called it temple because this is where my soul resides, right? The money resides. My soul, I am the bag, right? This is where it resides. And so this is the only body that we get. And if we are going to, I think, live our ultimate best lives, our truest selves, like we need to be able to take care of the physical body that we have. So that was a little bit of a lot of my story. I'm happy to say that I have great accountability and people in my life that are helping me navigate this as I move forward. And if you're somebody who is like, yo, you kind of struggle with this, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Let's keep the accountability going. But I want to make sure that I'm being as authentic and forthright as possible, especially as I'm talking about a topic that sometimes can make me feel like, I'm not where I want to be. But again, it's a journey. It's a journey. And one day, and again, I think in the near future, by this year ending, I will definitely be physically where I want to be. But it won't be because I didn't have a mindset shift understanding first. Because that's where it starts first, is in the mind, right? As if you are able to think about why you're doing what you're doing, you're able to make it a part of your lifestyle, it's able to stick more than it just being a facade. So that's going to take me into our next section, right? Is what is physical wellness? Like when you think of physical wellness, what's your thought? My definition of physical wellness is this: creating or having a lifestyle that allows you to intentionally invest in your temple for enhanced quality of life. right? So creating or having a lifestyle that allows you to intentionally invest in your temple for enhanced quality of life. And the reason why I say creating and having a lifestyle is because I don't just want to be somebody who works out for my birthday in August. I don't want to be somebody who works out just so I can lose 15 to 20 pounds. I want to work out because I love the gym. I love working out. I love running on the treadmill. I love being active. I love being able to play with my family and do different things and not feel like I'm out of breath. Like I just love all of that. So it's a lifestyle, right? That allows me to intentionally invest. I love getting up at 3:30 in the morning, going to the gym and just doing my thing, right? It's an intentional investment, right? But that's what I like. So you have to figure out, what do you like? What is it? What is physical wellness to you? But I think it has to be rooted in creating and having a lifestyle that allows you to intentionally invest. Some days it may look like going to play top golf. It's a great workout. It may look like going for a walk. It may look like going swimming. It may look like pickleball. It may look like who knows what. But as long as you're getting moving your body in a way to enhance the quality of your life, right? So if you're and I say enhance the quality of your life because there's a certain life that you should want to live. And for a lot of folks, living that life looks like eating a specific type of food. It looks like travel for some. It looks like being able to do things, get up, go party, all those different types of things. All of those are things you want to do. It requires you being able to move your body, right? Being able to breathe, being able to have the health to be able to do it. And so when I think about physical wellness, this is what comes to play. And even though there's so much research out there about people who are talking about expanding their life and anti-aging and longevity, don't nobody know the time. Nobody knows. Nobody knows when your time is up. And I didn't think about this till just now in full circle mode. My mom was one of the fittest people, the most endurance active people I know. Passed in her sleep at 56. The literally on the death certificate I remember it says like nothing, like natural causes. It says natural causes. Like that was it. So to me it was like, so just God's will, right? That's a different story for another day, but like, so nobody knows the time or the place and when. And there's multiple people I know who just didn't wake up, who were healthy and fit and all those different things. So regardless of what you do physically, you're not going to be like, when it's your time, it's your time. That's my belief, is what it is. But for the time that I have, I want to make sure that my lifestyle in what I'm doing and how I'm investing in me allows me to live a life that I want to live, right? So as much as you may be doing all these different things, just know, sure, you may be doing all the things that on paper wise, logistically, numerically add up to you living up to 100. That may not be it because you don't control that, right? So real quick, let's dive into like diet culture. And it's funny because there's even a part in Beyonce in the song in Pretty Hurts where she's like, TV says bigger is better, but Vogue says thinner is better. Right. And I think that's exactly what we get right now when it comes to diet culture. And it's like the research is all over the place between all the different, whether it's intermittent fasting, keto, no carb list, which is keto, or it's like vegan, pescatarian, like every single, like you had options, you got mad options, Mediterranean, there's every single thing under the sun. And I think one of the most important things for you to understand is you are N of one. And N of one means in research is studied like N equals the number of one. You're one of one. Like, like I'm not going to do what's best for somebody else because that may not be what's best for me. But I've definitely ran myself through all these different types of things to try to figure out what works. And that just doesn't work for me and my lifestyle and my quality of life. So you have to figure out what works best for you. You're an N of one, you're a study of one. If you don't understand your life philosophy and how you want to live and the lifestyle that you want, you'll just run away with every single fad and trend that pops up, and then you just do it all, but you're not really doing anything for it to intentionally, or something that intentionally aligns with who it is you want to be, right? You also have to take into account your body type. You have to take into account your life goals, your capacity, and what you can be consistent at. That's what should matter. You should say, what can I be consistent at? That's what I'm going to do, because that's the lifestyle. I can be consistent at going to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. I can be consistent at eating 80, 20, 90, 10. I can be consistent at that, right? But a lot of cats will do like that 75 hard. And then right after, boom. because that's not going to be their lifestyle, right? That's just that time frame of 75. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I am guilty of all of these things. And that's what I'm able to say. If I'm going to lose the weight I want to lose, live the life I'm going to live in a specific way, it's going to look like this. It has to look like a lifestyle that I can sustain, not something I want to put in a specific time frame, right? The other thing is like you have to look at race and gender, profession. Like, so LeBron, I can't measure myself to LeBron and how often he's able to do certain things, or other WNBA players. I'm not a professional basketball player anymore. It's just not my life. I'm also not a full-time basketball coach where I'm not in the gym every day. So I also can't measure me now to the me that used to be in the gym every single day for hours. I'm sitting now most of the time. So that's a thing that you have to look at and say, oh man, back when I was, yeah, but what did your life look like? What did the rest of your responsibilities look like? Right? So this is where you're saying, okay, from a new stance in life, with the life that I have, the responsibilities I have, the capacity that I have, what can I really do that's going to be consistent? I don't want to go up and down. I want to be able to maintain what I'm doing and reap the results and benefits from that, right? Another thing is, when you're looking at numbers and body fat percentages and things like that, that don't take into account thick black women. Like that was made off of skinny white women. That does not take me into account. So I can't look at a BMF body profile or body mass and fat. I can't look at one of those charts and be like, "Oh, I'm overweight." I am overweight. I am obese now. But even when I was obese per the chart, right? And again, it's per the chart. Even when I was an active athlete, killing it, it still doesn't account for black women who have more body, right? So you have to be careful when you're looking at certain things. Who is behind the research that you're looking at? Because it may not obtain to you. All right. So that was a lot. And here are some things that I'm going to tell you now that I told you what I've got going on, everything I've done. I'm going to break down what it is that I do, so that way you can help keep me accountable as I'm on this movement. But you can see that, right, as your coach, that I am leading by example. So one of the things that I've done is I've hired a coach, a personal trainer, and a nutritionist. I've never done this in my entire life before. That's how serious I am, right? Is I've hired a trainer and nutritionist, and we're getting after it, and it feels great because yes, there are physical goals that I have, and I know that I need to reach outside of my body, outside of myself, to be able to get myself to where I want to go. I get massages on a monthly basis, right? So it's another way to take care of your physical wellness. One of my friends, her name is Nettie. She's an amazing masseuse. If you're in the Tacoma area, you need to make sure you hit her up because she's got magic hands. But not just in your physical taking care of your body from a working out stance, but you also do have to do prehab and rehab, taking care of it, making sure that you are, even if you're sitting at a desk all day and you're typing and your neck in stress and your body keeps score, your body keeps count. So you need to be able to get in spaces to get that joint out of you. And Nettie is great at that. So getting massages on a monthly basis, bi-monthly or quarterly, whatever you can afford, you need to make sure you get in, you get those things done because your body is going to hold on to every single thing that you put it through. The other thing that I do now on a weekly basis is I do cryo. So cryo and infrared sauna and these boots. I can't remember the name right now, but compression boots. So I do those things on a weekly basis because I'm in the gym, I'm working out, my body's carrying a lot, I'm starting to run again, I'm doing the stairs. Like there's things that I'm doing and it feels great because it appeases the athlete in me, but my body needs prehab and rehab, right? From what it's going through. So again, look into those things in your area to see like, wow, what things can I get into to help deal with these ailments, these physical ailments that I may have. The other aspect to mental, or sorry, not mental, but physical wellness is tracking your sleep, right? Tracking your sleep in your eating. This is something that I do. I've been tracking my sleep for a while, but did you know that you lose calories or burn calories while you're sleeping? And this is one of the most underutilized ways to really help your recovery when you're working out, your brain, stress, all that is sleep. Obviously, sleep is something that we often feel like we don't get enough of, myself included. But it's always right being able to track it and see how many hours did I get? Did I get enough? Did I not get enough? How did I feel? Don't sleep on sleep. That's what I gotta say. And your eating for me, again, is always something that I'm dealing with. So I like to look at what I'm doing. I know having an 80-20-90-10 lifestyle for me, it works, but I still want to look at what I'm doing. And I can look back at my chart and say, ooh, I feel that. I feel like I went opposite. And I know where I have to course correct. So put things in your life that help you figure out what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. And then the last thing that I'll talk about is my eating philosophy and mindset and what that looks like physically as well. And for you to cultivate a mindset and a lifestyle and a philosophy that allows you to live from a physical being to create physical wellness that works for you. So for me, I keep mentioning 80-10, 80-20, 90-10. What that means is 80 to 90% of fuel and 20 to 10% of fun. I'm a foodie, right? Turned food addict, but that foodie is still there. I still enjoy it. Some people don't like to eat. I love it. But I need to make sure that if I'm going to have the body that I want to have, the temple that I want to have, then that means I need to stay within that range. And sometimes it fluctuates. It may be 80, 90 to 100. It just depends on what's going on. But I'm always going to allow that aspect of this because I want to enjoy life with people and social eating and different treats and just different things like that that allows me to live a life that I enjoy, right? The other thing that really helps me with this is I don't criticize food, even though I add that addict piece and one day maybe I'll drop it. Right now the verbiage works for me, but I don't criticize food. I don't call it good or bad or I'm being bad or I don't have cheat meals. I have treat meals because everything is in the mindset. And so when you're able to, from what I feel from in research scientifically, like your mindset, everything is about your mindset and how you're getting after it, what allows you to sustain it. And again, the bottom line of this is holistically in alignment, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Are you living a life that allows you to be in alignment with who it is that you want to be? Are you living a life that brings you joy and peace, that you really enjoy living? You really enjoy being yourself, and physical wellness is a part of it. So I'm going to ask you to think about that. What does physical wellness mean to you? For me, again, it is being able to create or have a lifestyle that allows you to intentionally invest, right? Intentionally invest in your temple for to enhance your lifestyle, right? Enhance the quality of your life. That is the thought process for me. So here we go. I know that was a lot of information. Hopefully you rocked out with me with that. But I got 4 things for you. Number one, how much do you invest in your physical health? Right? It is costly. It is expensive. It is expensive to invest in your physical health, but it is too costly not to. So the question is, how much do you invest in your physical health? It is very expensive to invest in your physical health, but it's too costly not to. Too costly, right? Like you're going to be paying the money in somehow. So I just mentioned I have a personal trainer, nutritionist. I have a masseuse. I do cryotherapy. I do a bunch of different things to help me, and it ain't cheap to do any of this stuff. But the body that I need, the lifestyle I want to live, the travel that I do, all the speaking, all these different things, like it requires me to be physically well. So if you're going to, like we talked about this before with LeBron, like LeBron spends, about $1 million. Ain't nobody telling you spend $1 million, but you got to spend something, right? Like I had to go get a trainer because the free stuff wouldn't work for me no more. I had to up my game, right? So what are you doing? How much are you investing in your physical health? The next question I want you to think about, or the next thing I want you to do is I want you to make a plan for how you want physical wellness to look for you. What does that look like? How do you fit physical wellness into your lifestyle? Again, creating a lifestyle that works, that allows you to say, you know what, I went out and played with my kids today, or I went out with some friends and we did it, right? And it doesn't mean going to the gym, right? What are some other things that you can do? Because just moving your body continually is good. That's what you need to do. It's going to help you create more longevity and anti-aging. The other question is, whose assistance do you need? Like I said, I have massive people around me in my village for my physical wellness village. That's not just me. I had to identify, what do I need? I got it, figured it out. So whose assistance do you need? I have accountability. I have people that I can talk to. I journal about it. So making sure that you're able to connect with those people that can help you on this journey and create the lifestyle that you want. And the last question is, comes from Beyonce, and she said, "Are you happy with yourself?" That's the question. When you look in the mirror and the illusion is gone, the facade is gone, it's just you versus you with you. Are you happy with yourself? I know for me in this journey, it has been a long journey to be able to sit in the mirror and say, I love you, I'm happy with you, to even apologize to my body at times and say, thank you so much for rocking with me, for holding me down, for taking me through all these things, for carrying more trauma than I needed you to. I appreciate you. Forgive me. I will treat you better. I literally have had those conversations with my body over and over and over because I got to be grateful for this being that I have. It's the only one that I got. Right. And so I can look at myself regardless of where I'm at weight wise now and say, I love you. I appreciate you and I'm happy with you. And so it's important for you to be able to have that conversation with yourself as well. So I hope this podcast was able to add some value to you in your life and your physical wellness. I appreciate you for being here. Remember, like and share and comment and all that fun stuff that spreads this word. Those are the easiest way for you to add value to Practice the Podcast and myself, Coach Rees and YOU-ISH, the organization, for free. So please do all those different things. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to talk about financial wellness. But again, Practice the Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Rees. I appreciate you. I love you. And remember, you are worthy of living your best life, especially obtaining some physical wellness. Peace. Ugh.